Hi everyone, it's Lisa here, also known as Maggie Milo. I have an art journal page to share with you today, and I'm using the spiral bound book. I kind of wish it was a like a book that has a seam in the middle, but it's what I have, and I really enjoy kind of like the freedom of either choosing like a single page or a two-page. So what I'm doing here is I've actually pre-gessoed the page, and then you can see in the background there's some leftover alphas that I have, and I just went over those again with some gesso, and so that way they're kind of like matted in the background. You can see them but you can't see them, so it gets just a little bit of texture. And then I'm just doing some swirly kind of painting in the background with my finger. And I've got a whole bunch of orange, yellows, and even like a really light brown. So I've got yellow ochre, derelict yellow, that orange, fluorescent orange, pyro orange, and then at the end I decided it needed a little bit of red. So I added some, I believe it was crimson red with a little bit of gesso just to kind of mute it down a little bit. And then here I have one of these Dylusions funky people. And this was actually a challenge between Sandra and Anita and myself. So Anita is Anita B on Facebook and Be Like the Bug. And then Sandra is Oh Snap Gonzo. So I don't know if they did process videos or not, but what I did is I just stamped this girl on some book text, and I'm just cutting her out. And this book text came from Wendy's online store, so it's w2scrapbooking.com or w2scrapbooking.com is how you read it as. But yeah, so I'm just trimming her out, just doing some very, very fast cutting. I do not like to cut out images, so this was super fast. And then in that same little sample pack that she sent us, there was this mesh material. So I am going to glue that down with some regular gel medium just to make sure it's gonna hold. So I'm just kind of putting it in cross hatches, so one up and down, the other one vertical, and one, or I should say one vertical and one horizontal. And then I'm just putting it on the other side as well. So that regular gel medium is going to really hold that mesh down so that it doesn't lift off. It's a really good adhesive if you're looking for some dimensional elements to stick to the page and really hold. So I'm coming in with this Lotus stencil. I believe it's by the Crafters Workshop. And so I'm just using some modeling paste, or actually no, this is heavy gesso instead. The modeling paste I have, I'm almost out of. So I wanted to be able to do a acrylic glaze over top of these. So if I use the other modeling paste I have, it's not going to grab and hold because I have the, I think it's the regular modeling paste, not the light modeling paste, so it doesn't have a great tooth to it. So I'm using the gesso instead, the heavy gesso, so it's going to take some time to dry. So I'm just going over that, and you can see as I lift it up, it's not a great clear image. So to fix it, I'm getting a wet brush and just kind of going over the areas where it's flared out from underneath that stencil, and I'm just kind of like rubbing back and forth to just get rid of that extra gesso that doesn't need to be there. So I didn't show all of what I did because I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but I wanted to show you how it cleaned up that one lotus flower quite well. You're going to see, I think I'm going to move up to the bigger one, and you'll see how it cleans it up quite well. So here you can just see I'm going to make those edges just a little bit sharper, and then I'm just taking a rag to remove some of the water. So you'll see in a second here. There we go. You can see how it changed that whole look of that petal right away. So that's an easy way to fix some of that blurriness from stencils that you might get if you don't get a clear image. So as long as you work really fast, you can get it done. So then here I am I'm going to make an acrylic glaze. So I'm taking some permanent violet dark and some acrylic glazing fluid, and it's about 50-50, and I'm just gonna take a brush and go over the whole thing. So this is gonna look super scary. It's gonna look like I'm gonna ruin the whole page, but it works out. I promise you that it looks amazing when it's done. So you're just gonna let that sit on there for about 1 to 2 minutes, depending on where you live, and just let that sit. And then you're gonna get some baby wipes, and then you're just gonna wipe away that extra paint. And what it's gonna do is it's gonna tint the flowers as well as that mesh, so that way it's not that stark white anymore. You can see it's just going to leave a hint of that purple, and that mesh is going to absorb a ton of that glaze. So it's not so in your face different color. So it feels like it's going to kind of mute into the background a little bit. It's a little bit contrasty color, which I'm okay with. That's what I wanted, was to make everything contrast just a little bit more. So then I'm going to stamp this other lady. It's from the same stamp set as that other one that I had cut out. And this is some tissue paper from Hazel and Ruby. And I'm just going to cut her out, and doesn't take a lot of time at all, especially with the tissue paper. You can kind of go a little bit faster. I just have to be careful you don't rip it. So I'm just not really very specific on making sure I have a great outline or anything like that. Just cutting the general image out. And you can see I've already glued down the other image, or no, sorry, I haven't. I thought I did. I'm going to take some fluid matte medium, and I'm going to glue down those images onto the art journal page. And I'm so sorry. I thought I cut out this drawing footage. I usually don't leave drawing footage in because I think it's very stale. So I just have this image, gluing it down with some fluid matte medium, and just going over top, so it's going to seal it onto that page. So that way nothing's going to lift off. And I'm going to again take this other image and do the exact same thing, and just go over that. Okay, so after that dried, I'm going over the image and just kind of taking a charcoal pencil, and I'm drawing in an outline of the figure for that lady up on the right. So it's kind of like she's got her arms crossed. I don't feel comfortable drawing hands or arms or anything like that. So I thought if I had her arms crossed, she kind of looks a little creepy and everything else. And she's got Survivor on there, so I thought she might have her arms crossed or something like that. So for this other lady, it looked like she had her like hands rested on a table or something. So I'm gonna draw in her arms. Not great. That's okay, because that's what an art journal is about. And I drew her body a really big, and I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna paint it, and then I'm gonna go back in, and I don't like how I made it so big. So I'm gonna try and like cover it up later. So I'm gonna take some Titan Buff. Oh, here's that Stabilo pencil. And I added way too much. It should be just like a highlight, and I added way too much. But that's a learning curve with those. And I'm going to go in with some Titan Buff in a minute here to color in her body. And yeah, so I'm not too fond of the way I use that Stabilo pencil. Alright, well, I'm just going to let some music play for a minute. You're going to see me coloring in the girl on the left with some Titan Buff, and then I'm going to go in with some gesso and some magenta and just try and blend in the colors a little bit. So I'm going to let you listen to some music, and I'll come back when that's finished. Alright, so I'm going to get some more of that just plain white paint, and I'm going to color in the whites of her eyes, and then I'm going to come in with some of that teal paint that I'm going to use on the other girl's hair. I'm going to color in her eyes and add some white highlights for her eyes just to make it look like she's alive. And then color in her lips. I believe I used a crimson red, and it just kind of popped her lips. Then I'm going to move on to this girl on the right. I'm going to again just kind of go over her lips. I'm going to add a little bit of white in the middle just to highlight those teeth that she has. And then I'm going to go over her face with that kind of white pinky color. And that's going to make those words in her face really pop out. It says survivor. So I'm just taking a really thin brush and I'm going over some highlights in her hair. You're going to see it. Like I'll pick up some gesso and I'll pick up some teal, and then that way, you know, you're kind of getting a little bit of different tones in her hair. And I'm sort of following the pattern of her hair that's, you know, stamped on this image, but not really, because I'm getting the highlight of the black in the background. So it's going to kind of show but not show all at the same time. So just kind of making little swirls every now and again just to, you know, emphasize the hair. So now I'm going to finish the hair off, and then I'm going to color in her body. And I believe I take some Dairlid yellow, and I don't think I use any, oh yes, I do use some gesso. And I'm just going to color in the image, and you're going to get that translucent-y look to her coloring. And I wish I would have done this to the other girl's body. I wish I just would have left it a little bit more translucent to let the colorization and then the paste of her, what's behind her, kind of show through. So now I'm coloring in the hair on the girl on the left, and I'm using all one color, and it's going to be, I believe it's crimson red. It's the same color I used for the lips, and I liked it, but I wanted to add like different tones to the hair, and I tried using white, but I didn't like it. So I'm actually going to wet all that paint on some of those and then just pick it up. And then that way you kind of get a little bit of shadow, but it's the same color that I used. So you can see I've outlined her in some black, so she kind of stands out a little bit more, and I'm not too fond of it, but that's okay. So I'm taking some retarder and some, I believe this is indigo violet, and I'm just going around the image of this and just blending it out, and it's gonna look like she's almost smoky in the background. So just again, just blending it out as much as I can. And it's going to kind of fix that spot where I made her a little bit thinner. And then the girl on the right, I'm going to do the exact same thing, and she turns out fantastic. I love the way she turned out. She looks almost like, with her hair, she almost looks like she's on fire.
So sorry guys, my camera ran out of memory, or not memory, ran out of battery power. So I just wanted to show you what I have here, and I'm calling this done. So what I did is I took some pouring medium. I've had this for a while and I've been playing with it, and I have it mixed in with some carbon black ink and or paint. I'm sorry, carbon black paint. And I don't know, I mixed probably, I don't know, probably 20% pouring medium in with the carbon black ink. And this is all I have left because that pouring medium goes fast. Actually, I do have another bottle. But anyway, what I did is I just made a line of the pouring medium here and then just dripped it up. And I should also mention, like, I took some of the tissue paper, and it has these really awesome quotes in it. So I cut out some of these quotes, and I just took some fluid medium. This is the fluid matte medium. And then I just, you know, attached it with that fluid matte medium. And so it's got this little bit of opaqueness into that tissue paper, so you can still see like the background, but you can still see the quote. So I did that. I did some sprays with these stencils, and I made my own spray mist. So I used that, again, that carbon black ink and then some airbrush medium, and I just have it in this little spray bottle. So I sprayed a couple times with that, and then I again did the drips up here, and then that was pretty much it. And I really like how it's kind of cartoony, kind of very Mod Podge. And this pouring medium is not dry, but it's going to have kind of that glossy finish to it. So I really like that shine to it. So I'm calling it done. So if you have any questions below, please put them in the comment box, and I will try to address them. If you're interested in some of this extra little embellishment pack that Wendy had given us, so it had like the tissue paper, this pattern paper, which I cut up but didn't use, this kind of ruler piece, these label stickers, some book text. It had a doily, which I cannot find at this particular moment. Some packaging. Oh, here's the doily and some of these pearls. So it's just kind of a fun little embellishment pack to either use in your art journaling or into your scrapbooking if you're into that whole mixed media. Kind of gives you a little bit of a sample, so that way you can play without a lot of commitment. So if you're interested and you want more information, I would say contact Wendy over at w2scrapbooking.com, or w2scrapbooking.com is what it's called. And yeah, so thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.